Hey, it's Anthony Meisner with Land Title, and I wanted to bring you the Lafayette update for the month of July. And as many of the surrounding areas, things are starting to slow down just a little bit with that appreciation number. We're at 930,000 average sales price, 8% or 9% up from last year. It's going to bounce around quite a bit in Lafayette because Lafayette has all kinds of different price points, right? Everything from the high-end luxury down to, well, at least semi-median. Last year, though, our median price point was only $675 and we're up to $815. So expect that to kind of continue at a pretty quick pace above where we have been, but it was 20% above last year at this time, and I don't think that's really sustainable, and it's definitely not happening consistently. Kind of got to look at the average of this year a little bit more. So I would expect it to be more around that 10% mark. You can see that it's a lot of peaks and valleys this year due to the Marshall fires and due to a lot of other stuff that's taking place in this market. So keep Lafayette in mind and definitely watch what's going on, but here's a little bit more realistic sense of what's happening. The attached market, the condo market there in Lafayette, the townhouse market really, is only up about 13%, so that's starting to slow down a little bit, but there's just not enough inventory. So we've really been in this inventory shortage for a long time. We're still feeling it in Lafayette pretty consistently. You can see that in those percentage increases. The average price per square foot, though, is rising really rapidly still. I'm hoping to start to see that slow down just a little bit because it's getting less and less affordable all the time. So about $360 a square foot for attached or detached. So hopefully we'll see that kind of trend a little bit closer to that 6% average we've seen over the last decade. I think the cost of building is starting to come down, which is good, but hopefully that appreciation rate starts to slow as well. Obviously we don't want to see it go negative, and I really don't think it will, but we're definitely starting to see it come back to reality, which is a good sign. Now, active listings on the market, we're actually starting to see a rise in those active listings, which is good. We had 66 on the market. We only had 54 last year. It's a 20% increase, but it's hard to use percentages with these things when we're only talking about 8 homes. So new listings coming to market, we still have about as many listings coming to market every month as we have on the market. So this is still a really seller-friendly market still, and we're down a little bit on those new listings compared to last year, but right in line with kind of what we would expect. So don't be stressed about the supply line. If you're selling a home, get out there, list a home, be aggressive about the pricing, you should be fine. Now, if you're a buyer, this is actually probably a little bit of a good sign because we went from 1 month to 1.6 months of inventory. That's a pretty substantial rise in inventory. At least you might have something to go look at. I feel like that's a good sign, and you're not having to put an offer on the first house you see. The under contracts are only down by 2 homes from this time last year. They're up quite a bit from last month. The June numbers were a little scary because with the rise in interest rates, people pulled back a little bit, and it looks like that's starting to pick back up again already. So that's a really good sign. I would expect to see the inventory continue to rise just a little bit over time, mainly because we have less buyers in the buyer pool because of those higher interest rates. But at the same time, this is still a really amazing market to purchase in. So as a buyer, get out there, buy sooner than later if you possibly can. Now, here's the big difference between last year and this year. The market really peaked at about April and May this year. We really didn't see the speed of the market peak until about July last year. We're at 14 days in the MLS. So active to under contract is taking 2 weeks right now. It's really not that much. It's only a couple days above where it was last year. But earlier this year, it was just gangbusters. So that is starting to get back to a little bit more seasonal norm. The other thing that's really started to come down, those bidding wars curbed way earlier this year than we saw last year. We saw that peak of the market carry through all the way into August last year. We are definitely back towards a more traditional seasonal fall that looks like it's about to come. So we're going to be more along the lines of what's happening in 2019 versus what happened in 2021. So everyone just kind of needs to reset their frame of reference. And if you're getting an offer at asking price, that's probably a good offer. If you're a buyer, you're definitely not going to find any deals out there, I don't think, right now, but you probably at least aren't paying $100,000 over asking in many cases, even though we're still seeing it in some markets. So if you have any other questions on the market, I'm Anthony at Land Title, and I'll catch you next time.